Hey everyone, you have reached the landing, OnePlanet's weekly meeting place for the entire Polygon NFT community. Every week at this time, you will learn more about the Polygon network, its native token Matic, and discuss the wonderful world of NFTs with some of the best and brightest minds from the NFT universe. And now, here's your host.
Planet's the place to be to showcase your NFTs. Best blockchain is Polygon. On planet one to be on, yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you for that, Matic Man. Appreciate you as always, starting us off with the tunes. And so for today, we're listing new projects every week on OnePlanet, and last week we were able to list some projects that have been um, making some more attention and getting some more fans, getting some more people involved in their communities. And so one of those projects was Fearless Fox. And so we have them up here today, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into what their project is about, how they got into the blockchain technology, NFTs, and Polygon in general. But before we get started with that, we're going to dive a little bit into what's going on with the Polygon news in the last week. So, Narb, if you want to lead us with that.
Yep. So I got some few quick updates here over the past week. We have Polygon has passed 2.5 billion total transactions on the POS chain. The Polygon ZK EVM testnet has reached over 90,000 wallet addresses. Polygon is at ETH Denver, and there are multiple panels, including the Polygon team on them. And if you'd like to tune into some of those, the official Polygon handle is tweeting a lot of those out. And a lot of the time you can listen to those live. The brand new Polygon website is now live at polygon.technology. The revamped site shows the community, the ecosystem, and the tech right there on the front page. And it is a much more slick and smooth design. In other news, Unstoppable Domains, the Web3 domain provider, is now making domains available to purchase using Matic, wrapped ETH, and USDC on Polygon. OnePlanet has added vanity URLs with over 273 NFT collections on their marketplace. And the Robinhood wallet app is now available for everyone to use on Ethereum and Polygon. And then lastly, just a reminder that the Polygon ZK EVM mainnet is launching this month on March 27th. Obviously, something that we've been talking about for a very, very long time. So just super excited about that.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you for that, Narb. You know what's interesting is Robinhood just including Matic, and I know that that was a topic a couple of months back, right? And I don't know, I haven't heard much else from them. I haven't tried it myself either, like the being able to use their wallet and how that kind of like transfer works between the Polygon network and Robinhood. But I think it's going to be interesting to see if there are any issues with the SEC trying to take more of a closer look at, just blockchain in general, right? And Coin has taken a risk, right? Coinbase building their layer 2, something that we saw last week. Yeah, I'm just a thought that I had there with Robinhood and Polygon and their relationship. I don't know if you've tried it or if you've seen anybody else share feedback on their experience.
So I haven't been able to try it myself because it has been in closed beta for a few months now, and unfortunately I didn't have access to that beta. But so far, I mean, I've heard some good things out of it, and I don't know if you guys, how many of you are familiar, I mean, with Robinhood or have used Robinhood, but Robinhood is one of those apps. I would probably compare it to Coinbase. I would say like Coinbase to crypto is sort of how Robinhood was to stocks. It's sort of brought in some of the new investors and made it really easy, and their fees were basically zero. I actually used Robinhood a lot for stocks back in the day to trade stocks, and obviously you've probably all heard of like the GameStop thing and the AMC thing, but in terms of like an actual product and a wallet, from what I've used with stocks, again, I haven't used a whole lot of crypto with it, but it's a really good user experience, and user design. So, and I would assume it's pretty similar to like to a Coinbase, or sort of like how an exchange works or how their wallet works. So I don't know. And like you said, obviously there's a lot of with the SEC, there's a lot of stuff that a lot of unknown there. We'll just sort of have to see how that plays out. I don't think anybody really has full clarity on how that stuff is going to play out. But yeah, so far what I've heard anyway from some of the people at Polygon that have had access to the Robinhood wallet, they say it works really well. It feels really good. Unfortunately, though, I haven't been able to use it yet.
Got it. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that. I think that helps us to understand a little bit of the experience at least. Yeah, I've used Robinhood myself. That was initially how I started getting into stocks. And the user experience is super smooth for sure. I think they kind of onboarded a bunch of new people into trading stocks and trading options as well. And so I think that's an interesting relationship there, right? That if there are people that like to trade options on Robinhood, if they can, if there's, let's say, DeFi projects on Polygon that are able to onboard those Robinhood users onto Polygon and use those derivatives here, that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And I also think, like, thinking back to when the Doge craze happened, a lot of the people that were buying Doge at that time were definitely buying on Robinhood. So I mean, Robinhood has had they've had the ability to buy crypto for quite a while now. It just hasn't been like, they weren't really your assets, right? You were buying, it's the same as buying on an exchange. They were basically, holding it for you, but you could technically buy it. But like when that craze happened, like all the people that were new to crypto and were buying crypto for the first time were buying on Robinhood. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see if this onboards new folks that are crypto curious that are maybe already somewhat invested in stocks. I guess we'll have to see.
Yeah, definitely. And I read Ryan Wyatt's article. That I don't know if you guys got a chance to read that, the recent one that he wrote. I think it was for Rolling Stones, and he mentioned something similar to um, just that a lot of blockchain tech is still in like the Web2 world, still looked at just a financial product. Uh, but of course, we spend a lot of time here, so we know it's not just around derivatives or cryptocurrencies. We live in the NFT world, right? And we see that there's a lot of development happening there. I know there's a fractionalizing app that's going to be partnering with Polygon Punks here soon. I think I haven't dove deeper into that, but I think I've seen some promotional videos going around about them working together. So that's interesting too. Just building more options for NFTs, the lending and borrowing of NFTs and all that. I think just adds more discussions and more opportunities for people to get involved with NFTs if they also like derivatives. Um, but cool, thank you for that, Narb. Appreciate that. Those topics there. Ghost, how are you doing, sir? What do you have for us today?
Doing well, and I want to add to Narb's statement. Yes, I did purchase my first crypto using Robinhood, and yes, it was Doge.
There we go, baby.
Same
Yeah,
here,
that's
man.
how I got my feet wet. Right before the run up and then the steep drop.
Diamond handing all the way to the bottom.
I actually want to tell just a quick story there. I actually bought Doge like when it was like 0.002 or something like that cents, and I put $300 in it. At the peak, it would have been, I think I calculated it, it would have been like 80 grand, but I ended up actually selling it for a loss. Like I bought it years before all this happened, and if I just would have left it in there, I would have made like 80K. But yeah, I ended up selling for like a $5 loss or whatever. I didn't know what I was buying, but I also bought it on Robinhood. So yeah.
But now you know better, right?
Now, honestly, if I was in the same position, like if I could see the future, obviously I would have held, but I think I would have done the same thing regardless. Like today, if something like a Doge came about, and if I bought it, I would probably sell it pretty quickly. There's like with something like that, there's just no way I'm holding it for multiple years or whatever it is all the way up. I know myself, and I just wouldn't let myself hold that long, to be honest. But congrats to everyone who did.
My man. All right, so week 9 for OnePlanet. Well, we see, I don't want to say an ocean of green because we reserve ocean for the purple wave, but there's a forest of green all the way across the top 5 collections this week. We have Hellcat still holding number 1, 14% increase in floor price. Derby Stars Early Access has brought it up to second place, 25% floor price. I want to say if anyone hasn't played the early access, get yourself a horse, get into it, eat it, breathe it. It's pretty fun, pretty entertaining for an early access. Rounding out third spot is Hellhounds with 7% increase in floor price. Rekt Dog's new mint from last week saw a 548% increase in floor price during all the hype that was going on. Then we had Nerdy Moody Origin Collection rounding out the 5th spot. News for this week, we have Rekt Gang's anniversaries coming up on Friday, March 3rd, and there's some things working around with OnePlanet, and you guys will all see soon enough.
Yes, sir. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of activity in the last week, man. I personally have a few horses, and I tried out the game, and it's fun. The community had been waiting for this game for a really long time, and there was skepticism to them even building a game, but eventually, they released it, and it's fun. It's been a lot of fun to get your NFT, your horse in there, and training them, and then racing with them. And so I think right now we keep seeing that gaming is going to be huge this year, 2023, and any project that's building a game and can actually prove that they have it, they can do an early access of the game, I think they're going to benefit a lot. And we saw the whole ecosystem of Derby Stars benefit from this, right? Because they had the horses, they had their starter packs, which have like their token called Carrot. They have like fruits, vegetables that you can give to the horses to give them energy. They also had the random box that still exists. Even their like migration badges, you can unlock a different avatar, the jockey essentially, but one of those is only unlockable if you have the migration badge, and that skyrocketed as well. So it was interesting to watch that whole ecosystem pop the last few days.
Yeah, and I still say it to this day, and I'm glad it's all being recorded. Gaming will onboard the biggest quantity of individuals into Web3. And it will only be in the sense that the normies won't know they're actually using Web3 tech.
Yeah, and that's true too, right? That right now, like even with Derby Stars in the early access mode, at least you need to have a horse to play. I think in the future, as the early access ends, I think they want to figure out a different way to onboard new users as well, right? They're gonna have the renting mechanism, and the breeding is already going on. So a new collection is Derby Star Souls, which is going to turn into a fowl and a horse. So it's interesting, man. The mechanisms there have been exciting to explore. But thank you for sharing that, Ghost. Appreciate it as always. Now, just to dive more into the conversation of today, impacting lives through Web3, I want to start with our new friends here from Billionaire Fox. How are you doing, sir? If you want to introduce yourself, your name, and then your project.
Hi everyone, GM. It's awesome being here. I'm Abraham, and my friends call me Slim. So if you're comfortable with calling me Abraham or Slim, quite because when you see me, I'm like Mr. Bones. So I'm really slim, and I don't like to see myself as the founder of Billionaire Fox Club. I like to see myself as the artist of Billionaire Fox Club. I always say that because I meet a lot of people. I've met a lot of people, and I'm still meeting people who to me have helped me more than I should I say deserve, more than I'm worthy, because I try to do my best, give the project my all, but still, you couldn't do all these things alone. There are people that come and they give you that extra push, they give you that encouragement, they give you that support you need. And I like to see all these people as the founders. These are people that are my too hard, and they're putting it out to other people to say. So that's I was raised from a family who I would not like to say were middle class. I was raised from a family who were a little bit poor. So my parents couldn't afford for me. I'm the last child of three, but they could only afford for one child to go to a computer school. And so my elder brother was the second child of the family, was actually the person who got the chance to go to a computer school. So each Saturday I'll finish my chores and I'll run off to the shop and watch him type and do a lot of things. And I was already intrigued by how the computer is, and how things could be done through that. So there was a day the owner of the store sent him. So before he could come back, I was already sitting on the computer, and I didn't even know the man was seeing me, and I was trying to mimic how the owner of the shop was typing. So he came and he said, "Oh, uh, let's see if you can type." And he gave me something, just showed me how to go about it. And a year later, at the end of the day, I was the one taking care. I was the one in charge of the computer store. I was just going there, seeing from there. So 15 years later, I have been into graphic designing and making art. So it's art of passion, because I think when I was 17, my mom ended up affording a PC for me. So she bought a PC that was shipped from United States. So they brought to the school, and she got one for me, and wow, that was I still have the hard drive of the PC, even though the PC is crashed. So that's I grew up with that passion to explore, to learn things. And up till now I've not had a certificate for a computer school. I Everything I've learned, I've never gone to know how to make, how to format systems, do all these things. But at the end of the day, I was the one doing it for family and friends, and the school and the college I was. So it's probably, I know, a little bit of talent and trying to follow my dreams. So at the end of the day, I was doing graphic designs on IG, and a friend of mine who is from Germany, Tommy, he said, do you create NFTs? I said, what are NFTs? He sent me a picture. I think was it cosmic something, cosmic dog. So yeah, because cosmic dogs and some other NFTs. And I was like, I don't know, because that was 2021. I lost my job. My wife was just gave birth, just after 3 months after my wife gave birth to my child. I lost my first daughter the day she was giving birth. So a lot of things like that pushed me, because she was giving birth in a public hospital, because we couldn't afford to pay for a more maybe private hospital. And so I think that pushed me into feeling I need to do more to get more for the family. So I was working as a teacher, and the place was so toxic, and at the end of the day I had to choose whether to leave or not. And the proprietress actually said, you're leaving or you're not. So I said I'm leaving. So, and 3 months after that, I was without a job. I was just doing the graphic designs. I'll do a design for $1, get, and it was building me well. I think it taught me to have patience, to talk to people, to I was learning a lot of things. And when Tommy asked me about NFTs, I went and searched about NFTs. 2 days later, I had sent him the first design I made on Photoshop, and I was telling him, I'm ready to throw out 1,000 NFTs. So he laughed and said, okay, you're good. Just keep giving it your best. So at the end of the day, I searched what wasn't there, what there wasn't a lot of, because I saw a lot of apes, a lot of things, a lot of derivatives, and I didn't want to make a derivative. I wanted to make something new and different, something that will resonate with me. I've never seen a fox, only in movies. So I decided, hey, well, I love how foxes are, and I saw that foxes are endangered species, and what can I do to help not just people, but possibly these animals, maybe help with a few donations here and there. And I designed the first fox, put it out January 2022, started pushing through, and I met a lot of beautiful people who came, and they said, oh, I love this. Or someone I did actually someone the first few people I sent the art to, someone told me, hey, this, you wouldn't even sell two of this. Nobody's gonna nobody likes this. You can't draw. And seeing that I'm not really an artist. I studied mathematics and physics, so it really pushed me to, okay, find new ways to make my art better, and get to find new ways of expressing myself. So at the end of the day, we've put out 444 foxes, and that's the OG collection of Billionaire Fox Club. And we have the idea of making a larger collection. Ideally, where we had the discussion with the community. It's a community driven project. As I told you, I'm just the artist. Whatsoever happens, I always talk to the community first, and we decide how we go about with it. And we've helped a little with some donations from while we proceeds. We've, we just do some little holders merch giveaway, crypto giveaway. But at the end of the day, we were in Discord some months back. I saw someone. I saw AI arts, and I was like, wow. And I said, okay, I'm trying it out. So we tried the AI collection. Ideally, we wanted to just be like a drop into holders that are what word will I say, that are dedicated or are active in the community. So we created, I generated about over 500 AI foxes, And after curating and talking with the community, we decided to make it just 111. Not that much, something little, sometimes having something so much could be a good thing, and sometimes it could be bad. It depends on how you see it. So we all decided, okay, as a community, we're putting up 111. So put out that 111, and the first day of the mint, it was absolutely amazing. A lot of people sent out, showed love. The Matic man. I had spoken. I met him some few days before mint, so I was talking to him, and Polygon punks, Shantastic. These are people I've asked. I was like, okay, these are things I'm passing through with the community. These are with the project, and I just need help. Maybe what do you think? Advice. Just advise me on what to do. And seriously, it's amazing how these people have shown me support, not just me, a lot of people out there, the support they've been putting through. And we decided, they minted we minted 70 on the first day. We give out 30 to the active members of the community, and 30 were sold for I think 10 Matic or so. Yes, 10. And then we had like 40 or 50 remaining for 20 Matic. And it's been amazing. It's been amazing. With that project, I was able to go to schools and pay for up to 16 children their school fees. And it's seriously mind-blowing how seeing how parents could not just, out here in Nigeria, it's really, really tough. And some parents can barely afford $1 to pay for their kids because they have probably 5 to 6 kids, and they're working with the government who's paying them pension of around $20 to $30, and around 8 months they don't get paid. So you can imagine the hardship, and it's really, really amazing. So the first day we got listed on Magic Eden, and I was already in talk with Matic man. He said we want the collection on OnePlanet because of what you're doing, and it's not me. Let me just tell y'all, it's not me. It's the support y'all have been giving me, and I'm really, really grateful for that. I'm not the one to want this, but you are. So thank you. It's sorry I took so long to tell you little about me.
No worries. Thank you, Slim. Go ahead, Matic Man.
I I have a superhero PFP, but we have two heroes in our space, Edwin. You just heard one of them, Abraham, Billionaire Fox, and also Amin with Troglodyte Society. These individuals that are working so hard just to help other people to make an impact. And man, I'll never forget, it's right before I left China and moved back to the US, a video phone call with Abraham. And I was so touched after I really wept after, I'm getting emotional now. This guy is so humble and he's so genuine, and he's the kind of person that makes Web3 worthwhile. All the long hours, disappointments. This guy is real, and what he's doing to help others. Man, you've got my total respect, Abraham. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I'm grateful.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing your story because I think there's a lot of connections here too. Just knowing, that there's a lot of teachers that they're educators that turn to Web3. Matic Man himself, Rebel DeFi, that's down here listening as well. He was an educator, a teacher himself, but he's now full-time Web3. And there's a lot of skills that transfer to Web3. At the end of the day, we're all human, we're all people, we're all here to learn. And one thing that's cool about you there, though, is that you took it upon yourself to learn the skills necessary to put yourself in a position for this opportunity, right? It wasn't, there's a little bit of luck, but it's also you leveled up your own skills to get to this point, and you were in the right place at the right time, met the right people, right? And you were able to succeed in your mission there. And it's a cool circle that you created there too, right? Because you experienced things growing up, and now that you're able to use Web3 technology and NFTs and community, you're able to give back to people and to kids so that they don't go through the same struggles that you did. So I think that's super cool, man. And thank you for sharing that story. And you're not the only one, right? There's others that are in a similar place that experience similar things. You know, it's crazy to think that you know, Web3 expands all over the world, right? And there's some people that have it easier financially, and some people that have it a lot harder. And so, you know, like, you know, 10 Matic, 20 Matic makes a big difference to some people, and to others that's not much, right? So yeah, it's a crazy world that we're living in, and then when you add the Web3 component to it, it's really interesting. But it's great to meet you, and we'll definitely, you know, look forward to continue to support you. I do want to hear from Troglodyte Society, because Matic Man has been talking about them as well, having a similar story where they're giving back as well. So go ahead if you want to introduce yourself and tell us a bit about your project.
Yeah, hi everybody, how you doing? My name's Ahmed. Billionaire Fox Club. Might just say for us, howdy body now. Your story inspiring. You understand? Like what you do, amazing. So well done, well done. We go chop out at the back now. We'll go talk more. Say how you chop out.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But yeah, hi everyone. My name's Ahmed. I'm originally from Sierra Leone, West Africa. Unfortunately, due to a civil war that took place in my country, that lasted 11 years, we had to seek refuge in the UK. And fast forward today, I'm now a deputy head teacher at a secondary school in the UK. And when I discovered Web3 in terms of the technology and what it can do and how it can transform people's lives in Africa and Sierra Leone specifically, it was just the perfect platform to use to create this whole project for us to raise the funds to build a children's center, supplementary education, career pathway goals, as well as build a whole training center for Web3 to educate these young people. You got young kids as young as 8, unfortunately, have to prostitute themselves just for food. The average earning over there is less than $1 a day. So you can imagine how this technology can absolutely transform thousands, if not millions of people's lives over there. And this is what we're working towards. So we're working with the government and partnering up with a lot of people in the UK, as well as over in a different country. We're now a full-fledged charity organization as well as of this year. And yeah, we're trying to change people's lives and support. Like, I feel blessed. I feel lucky. I'm a dad, 4 kids, husband, and I feel blessed. And it'd be very selfish of me not to do something like this in terms of supporting my people and what they're going through, because it's really bad. And yeah, but one of the things we had to learn the hard way is in terms of utility and all these different things, because yes, we're just a charity, but at the end of the day, people are here to make money regardless, and this is where we've pivoted the project in terms of putting all the utility and things like that. And we know we had to go out there. We've been out here for about a year and a half now. We have to go out there and onboard other people, and that's one of the things that we did. Is it okay if I pin some stuff up?
Yeah, go for it.
So one of the partnerships that we've made is we've made a partnership with NFA. We've made a partnership with Pika Moon, Lurk Loves You, Quiver Media. We've got a whole social media team that's going to be coming on board in 2 weeks to support and help push these projects and show people in terms of the utility and things like that. To also support other people to onboard them. We've dropped it to OnePlanet for people to be able to onboard into this project, and literally it's going to get transformed. So everyone used the word mutate. It's going to mutate, but for us it's an evolution So they are going to be a Trog evolution where they mutate, if you want to put it, to something else. But then there's a lot of utilities and a lot of things behind that. And obviously the OG Trogs will have first access, as well as loads of things coming down later down the line, where they're going to be getting a lot of utilities that hopefully can help them flip, not financial advice or anything like that. But yeah, that's what we're building. We're trying to change things. As I explained to you earlier, at the end of the day, charity's been around for donkeys as far as I can remember. But what we're trying to create is a change. You can feed someone for a day, but they're just eating for that day. But again, the old saying, if you give a man a fish, you feed him for the day. But if you teach him how to fish, you can feed him for a lifetime. And it's about us being able to support them and creating generational wealth and things like that. They don't need organizations like us, that they can do it themselves and make the change themselves and not need things like this themselves. So that's the whole ethos and goal behind it, that is founded on, is actually building the charity, yes, but actually educating them and teaching them and having a center and onboarded organizations and companies to give them employment and things like that. We're literally taking the whole job market to Sierra Leone, to Africa, that can change lives, rather than just, yeah, we have a charity and you come here, you eat every day. No, actually have a training center, educate them, teach them, onboard, all of that jazz. So it's a long-term project, and we've been here. People see what we've been doing and they gravitate towards us and see what we're building, and yeah, come and check it out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing that as well, man. I one thing for me that I did where I felt like I was trying to help was coach the freshman and sophomore basketball team at my high school. And I think similar to what you're mentioning here, it's the idea of we here are experimenting with the technology, right? We're experimenting so that we're not only helping our own projects, but we're also able to educate others in the failures that we have, right? And that was my goal when I was working with the 13, 14, 15 year olds, just share with them the experiences that I had while going through high school and college, and the bullying and how to deal with it. And there's a lot of emotions that come out of a sport, and just being able to contain that and channel that into activity is something that's interesting. But here for us, it's how can we help channel that energy towards creativeness, right? And learn about this technology that exists now that anybody can take advantage of. And it really does just take like an idea and attach a story to it that people are going to vibe with, right? And if you have a long-term vision, slowly you'll grow your community and you'll get more people to buy into the idea, not necessarily just, financially, but just even being able to spread the word is a lot of support, right? And sharing that with their own communities. There's a network effect that comes from each individual that appreciates what you're doing. That can be a financial effect or just a influential effect of their own communities, right? So, yeah, man, this topic is it's good. I really like the idea here that we're kind of just sharing our knowledge, right, and sharing our skills with the people that are around us. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Trago.
Yeah, sorry, I just wanted to just add, because there's so much that's going on right now. One of the things we like to do as well is be fully transparent, like we were saying, in terms of actually showing people in terms of where the money goes and stuff like that, and everything else. This is why Web3 is so important, especially when it comes to African countries. You can track every single dime of where it goes. Obviously, in my country, I can only speak about that, where 2 point something million went missing, no accountability whatsoever, no one knows where the money went. What we try to do, we do live events where people can literally log in. I've just pinned up one of the events actually we just done on Saturday, just gone, and it was over 1,000 young people and adults that we supported in a disability community, where they actually was having their limbs amputated. I didn't want to go too dark into the space of what happened over there, but obviously where they had to literally, the kids had to amputate their own family's limbs, and their limbs got amputated and stuff like that, and they live in these communities. But I've pinned it up, and actually on the picture it's actually the president, two different presidents, one from our country, another from another African country, and then they're talking about us underneath. but we live stream it. You can talk to the kids, you can talk to the community leaders. We've got a team of 12 down there, and the team keeps us expanded. But it's showing people what you're building and what your vision is, because people want to know. And it's actually showing those young people's journey throughout as well, where you can track it from the start all the way to the end, and showing people actually, people give to charities all the time, but do you actually see where your money goes and who is impacting? You can use Web3 to do all of that, and this is the whole thing. It's completely changing the set of it, saying actually, if you donate, you do this, you can track it and see where your money goes, and their lives is changing, and you can physically see these people and talk to them, and see their journey also. But yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I do want to give Ghost, Narb, or Matic, man, if you guys want to say something, just raise your hand. I'll pass it to you. But the comment here is that I started this Twitter space with Zeneca sending out a tweet in regard to the rewriting of books that's going on right now in the world. And so with blockchain technology, it's permanent and it's transparent, right? And so that's something that we need to continue to point to as the reason why we're all here, right? It's not just the financial components; it's also the advantages of the being able to track where the money goes, right? But yeah, I think that's a good point that you made there. Go ahead, Matic man.
Yeah, just a little connection. Of course, one of our ambassadors is Dave. And I think I first heard Ahmed in his story, what he's doing back in the summer. And maybe he was in one of Dave's This Is Not His Chill spaces. And yeah, and he actually worked really closely with Dave a year or so ago, year and a half, when Dave's mother passed away. He helped take over that space for a period of time while Dave was caring for his mom. So this is a good guy. And, in the midst of a crazy world, war, earthquakes, crime, we hear the bad news. It's just a shining light in Web3. People like Abraham and people like Ahmed and what they're doing. I'm sorry to be emotional tonight, but I was in America. We would have called me like trailer trash. I hate to say anybody in America is poor, because I've been to a lot of different countries and I've seen poverty. But by American standards, we were poor. And I'm glad that there were people who, after my dad left, my mom raised 4 children. And we kind of raised ourselves. She had to work 2 jobs all the time. But I'm glad there were people that reached out and helped me. And, I have a real soft spot for people that help children.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Matic man. I agree with you. I think it's important to really care about the children that we're all raising, right? At the end of the day, they look up to us. We're an inspiration to the kids. And I'm the oldest of 4. I have 3 younger sisters. My dad's not around. It's just my mom that has been taking care of us. But similarly, I try to lead by example with my sisters, and they got to take care of themselves. I don't want to do everything for them, but yeah, I think it's important that we help lead the way, and we lead by example, especially as men, right? If we're taking care of our families. And yeah, money is such a crazy topic too, because there's so much stress that happens in the family because of money. Go ahead, Shantastic.
I just wanted to say, Tony, that your experiences in the past have made you into the amazing person that you are now. You support everybody, no matter what, and we all appreciate and love you for that. All the hardships that you've faced, they shine through in your personality now, and they make you who you are. And yeah, we love you.
100%. Yeah. The whole Polygon ecosystem knows how Matic Man is, and you always bring the energy, man. We can't deny that. Anywhere you go, you bring the strength and the motivation. So definitely appreciate you being in this space and with us, man. Go ahead, Narb.
Yeah, I just wanted to go off of what Shantastic was saying. Like, Matic Man is definitely one of my favorite people in this space, one of the nicest people I've ever met. And I just want to say, like, I really appreciate everyone sort of sharing their story. It's always amazing. There's so many people in this space I've noticed that have come from, like, you know, a struggling background and have sort of found success on the other side. And it's really great to see you guys, obviously, you know, giving back as well. And I don't know, it's just really amazing. So many different, some of my favorite people had, you know, that have gone through that struggle. And I don't know if this story hasn't been told very often, but sort of just connecting this to Polygon is two of the founders, Mihailo and Sandeep. They also came from a very struggling childhood. Sandeep was also, you know, he's told the story about him being very, very poor. You know, they couldn't afford a bicycle for him or anything like that. Mihailo was basically born in a war zone, and now look where they're at. You know what I mean? And I think that Web3 sort of attracts those types of people because it can give the ability to give back. So yeah, I just want to say I really appreciate everyone, you know, telling these stories, and yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Narb. I agree. I definitely see that this space does attract that kind of people that have struggled a lot growing up, and I think that as more and more people see the benefits, they'll keep being onboarded, and the barrier to entry is still fairly hard, right? And like it takes time. It takes a couple of hours for a newbie to just understand the technology, and then on top of that, actually take a risk and put a little bit of money into the space. But once you're in here, you start to meet all of these projects and founders and people and community members that are just here to enjoy the growth of the whole ecosystem. One last question that I'll post here with the last 8 minutes that we have here is, how does your circle of friends slash family feel about your job in Web3 or your role in Web3? And you don't have to get too personal, but I'm just curious, you know, if we're having a discussion about having an impact through Web3, you know, with the in real life world, for example, you know, how is that impact happening away from your family and friends, or is it within your family and friends? Have you guys been able to onboard them, or are they curious about what you're doing? On my end, I have not. My sisters do not care about what I'm doing. So yeah. So go ahead, Troglodyte. I'll start with you.
Yeah. When I first started it, my family was like, "What the crap are you talking about?" But I know, like, what is these cartoon images you're creating, and you're supposed to be a vice principal. Da, 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 da. I was like, listen, they didn't see the vision at first, but my family's supportive no matter what. They're like, we believe you. If you think it can make these changes, we believe you. So one of the things, obviously, when we tested it, is I was explaining to the Matic man today, is we trained about 20 to 30 people in Africa. We showed them about Web3, we showed them about digital marketing, Upwork, Fiverr, and stuff like that. So we gave them free Google training and stuff like that, and we got them employment, got them into jobs. They're earning about $100 a month, and they continue. Still now, they're still earning money. And like I said, they earn less than $1 for 12-hour shift. They're doing this for a couple of hours a day, and they're earning about $100 a month. So they saw that, and they're like, "Oh wow!" And then they started seeing the live events we were doing, and they started coming into those live events, and they're like, "How are you doing this?" I'm like, "This is through Web3. This is through all of this." And they're like, "Who's all these people in the live event?" Because obviously, when we have the live event, people come in and watch and ask questions. They're like, "What's all this?" So far, we've supported over nearly about 10,000 kids in the span of a year. Got them off the streets, put them into education, clothes, financial aid, food. We've partnered up with companies, water companies down there, that goes into these communities and give them free drinking water, because 95% of the water is undrinkable. We've asked the different communities to support and help out as well and get involved. when they've seen all of this, and every time we host an event now, we get a news article. Someone's always printing or talking about us in the news, and they're like, so all of this is from those images. And we're like, you can say that, yeah. And trying to explain to them, so they're all on board, but they still don't understand it or get it, but they're all on board and they're supportive. But it's quite a funny conversation starter where they're like, what are these images? What are these pictures? They're just pictures. You can screen save them. But yeah.
It is really ridiculous sometimes, right? When we start talking to people and we have to explain to them what we're doing, and they just can't comprehend. They're like, wait, what? Go ahead, Ghost.
Yeah, I want to say, like, anybody, friends or family, the only one that knows is my wife. And because she lives with me and see these funny pictures, and my girls are looking at them and asking questions as well. But anybody else, nah, they're not interested. They don't want anything to know about it. I had two buddies of mine that jumped into crypto, went full ape in DGen, got wrecked, and then made a bunch of it back, and then their wives made them get out.
Yeah, that's an interesting part when you have a couple, right? Because yeah, you have to kind of share with them what you're doing with the money and explain to them how you lost money or how you made money. Like I know we've had those discussions with a bunch of different members as well. Go ahead, Slim.
Yeah, also, actually, when I came into the Web3, when I joined, I was just alone, and my elder brother, the one that I told you was able to go to the computer school. I have always been the one that always brings him into things I've found out. I think if he needs anything computer based, he calls on me, and so I spoke with him, and he felt okay. He's checking it out because, okay, my wife, I told you, we had a 3 months old baby. I had no job. She had no job, and it was just from the designs that I was doing I was able to get food and other necessities for the family. But my wife wasn't comfortable with me going to bed by 4 a.m. She will wake up by 6. She wakes up around 4, and maybe the kid wakes up by 5, 6, and I have to wake up too to dress him while she baths. And when they go back, when they go out, that time she I think after a month she got a job. So that was when I was designing the NFTs. So she'll go out and come back by 4, 5 p.m. I'm still on my table designing. She goes to bed by 10. I'm still designing. I may come to bed by 3, 4, 5 some days, and it was really hectic. At that point, we were struggling, and she didn't really understood what I was aiming for. So it was quite difficult, but she always supported. But she never joined. She would only come around, gist with me and things like that. She would tell my parents I don't sleep. She would tell my friends and family, others. So when my brother joined in, I pinned something up. Riajala Favor, that's his first. Those are his daughters. He joined in, and what I did, I told them, just draw pictures whatsoever. She loves drawing. He's an artist. He's a professional artist. So the kids started drawing, and at the end of the day he would snap, and I minted it for them. And one day they sold. After I minted, I bought the first one to just encourage them. And the next day they sold one, and before you know it, this little girl, she's 8 right now. She started when she was 7. She has donated about to over 153 girls in the community sanitary pads. That's what they do. From the sales of their NFTs, they go to schools in the community, and they donate sanitary pads to girls over there. So I think it's not really over here. It's not that people don't really understand what it is, what crypto is, what NFTs are. You understand? So it's quite difficult for a lot of people to know what you're doing when you tell them about this. This is how this is affecting, changing lives. You know, some people just look at me and think, okay, oh. So, oh, if you're into NFTs, then you're making all this. You're now a millionaire, and I said, no, it's you don't. You know, in Nigeria, I think $1,000 is probably about a million or so, almost a million. So they look at you, and even if they don't know, when I went and paid the school fees of children, my friends start calling me and saying, "Hey, I need to pay this. I need to pay. Hey, this isn't even my money. This is a project, and if you people want to do this, you can just create your own projects and put it out." But they don't. A lot of people don't tend to do that. They just look at you and think, oh, it's an easy job over here. So there are challenges, but it is the support. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Yeah, you know, I think people that are not too aware of this space definitely think that we're all here making it rain with money, right? But it's it's one of the dangers of inviting our friends and family to the space, that we also don't want them to get wrecked, unless you're Rekt Gang. Rekt Gang wants everybody to get wrecked so they can join their crew. But with that being said, man, thanks everybody for your time today. We're at an hour here, and I want to let you guys go out and enjoy the rest of your day. But it's been a great discussion, and I appreciate all of you sharing your thoughts, your opinions, and your stories. It's always a fun experience for me to meet new people and hear from you guys in this Web3 space and in Polygon and in NFTs. So thank you for your time. With that, yeah, we'll catch you guys again next week, same time, same place. The landing is here on Wednesdays, 11 p.m. UTC. If you guys have any questions about OnePlanet or any of the projects here, definitely feel free to reach out to them. And yeah, thanks everyone. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for joining us for The Landing, OnePlanet's weekly meeting space. Please join us again next week at the same time.